I don't know where you are, where you're watching this, but it's miserable here in Vancouver. It's been raining and it's freezing, so it's great to curl up with a 3DS and get lost in Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King. This is a classic role-playing game. It was developed by Square-Enix. Actually, Level 5 was the developer, but it was published by Square, and it was out for the PlayStation 2 back in 2004, so this makes this 12, 13 years old, but it's been retrofitted for the 3DS in some wonderful ways. First of all, I will say that I played this with the new 3DS. It's not so new now. It came out a couple of Januaries ago. What is it with Nintendo and their love of January and good 3DS stuff? But I played it on the new 3DS, so I had the little the camera thumb nub, and it makes all the difference when playing this game. I can't imagine how clunky and cumbersome this would be to play on a traditional 3DS, where you would have to use the D-pad for the camera controls, because this is a full 3D role-playing game that has some really grand vistas to explore. You travel and walk across 3D environments, and you go through villages, and you go through castles and towns, and you know, you encounter tons and tons of people, and you encounter tons and tons of monsters, and the monsters are hilarious in this game. One of them is like this dancing devil thing that kind of charms you with its crazy dance moves. There's lots of really funny, ingeniously crafted monsters in this thing. Akira Toriyama is the name of the character designer, and he's worked in the anime world, did some stuff with Dragon Ball, obviously, and he's done amazing work with the Dragon Quest series. And I think Dragon Quest VIII, because it was the first 3D Dragon Quest game, was, I think, the best realization of that rich character work. Suddenly, all of these characters were walking around in 3D and walking up to us, and you could get closer to them, and you could, you know, kind of see their facial expressions. And in addition to this fantastic art, there was also a terrific voice cast assembled for this game, and all of that has been collected within the 3DS game, which is remarkable as well. It's fun to hear Yangus, who's my favorite character in the game. He's this brutish thief who's not afraid of getting into a bar fight, and is a very, very good ally in any kind of conflict that you can get into. He loves, you know, heavy hammers and axes, and he's an empathetic little soul. And as you come to realize with this game, the surface level of each of these characters is just a fraction of the amount of labor and the amount of the craft that has gone into building this world for us. There's a lot going on underneath each one of these characters. You play an unnamed character in this game. I named my guy Batwing, and I gave him a boomerang. That's what I kind of favored, but there's lots of different weapons and types in here. You can, you know, of course, pick up swords, and you can pick up shields, and you can pick up spears and things like that. There's wizard staffs, there's the aforementioned hammers and axes, there's bows and arrows, there's rapiers, there's whips, there's all kinds of cool stuff. But one of the cool things that they've done with the weaponry in the game is you can actually level those up as you work your way into this thing as well. So you get up to a specific level and you unlock skill points, and you can apply them to weapon types for each of the characters, and each of the characters has their own sort of branching weapon sort of choices, and that will unlock new skills and new abilities to take off more hit points on the enemies when you get into the battles, which is great. Like, for example, the boomerang that I picked up, I was able to keep unlocking, and suddenly I got a +10 on my damage that I was you know, able to apply with my edge boomerang. And it's just amazing to watch some of these. That's why I chose the boomerang. I loved being able to stack up a nice suite of enemies and chuck that thing, and it would hit each one of the different enemies and knock off some hit points, and you'd see all those numbers flash up. Very flashy combat, and I think that's one of the great additions to this new 3DS version of the game. Everything is kind of built to be sped up and jumped into a little bit quicker, which is great. First of all, you can see the enemies on the field in this sort of full 3D environment that you walk through, and you're going to see tons and tons of different types of weird monsters. The monster creations are amazing, but you can avoid those battles if you don't want to get into them. Obviously, you want to grind and you want to level up and stuff by battling, but if you don't want to, for whatever reason, get into a fight because you've got a mission that's taking you across the country and you want to just get there, you can do that, which is great. But once you do jump in, you can alter the speed of the battle, so you can go through these battles a lot quicker, but the animations are great. You know, whether, you know, you've got one of the characters characters drawing the bow and shooting an arrow into a bad guy, or Jessica cracking her whip, or Yanga's jumping with his hammer and bashing somebody on the head. It all looks incredible. They've done an amazing job with that, and especially because, you know, you've got creatures that have like one giant blinking eye, or you've got a giant kind of dinosaur dude with a bongo drum on him and he's throwing sand at you. Just ingenious, fun, cool character design with great animations. And then you get into this really deep, complex, you know, thought-provoking, mature storytelling that's in here as well. Everything looks very approachable and very accessible, very kid-friendly, but there's actually some pretty dark stuff in here. There's some pretty good layers of depth. You get into a lot of dysfunction with the families that you encounter along the way. Lots of, you know, battles that have waged forever. A lot of characters are in mourning because this Dolmegus character, who's the big bad that you're chasing at the beginning of the game, has been just going from village to village and killing people and leaving a lot of horror in his wake. And he's also transformed your buddy, King Trode, into this kind of troll-type, Yoda monster-type looking character, and his daughter, Medea, is a horse who actually, you know, drags along a wagon, which is convenient because you have this alchemy pot in there, and that allows you to build all kinds of really cool things along the way. But it's an interesting kind of story conceit because you're this kind of weird rogue band that looks completely weird, with Yangus looking like this kind of stout little troll dude with a kind of a Cockney accent, and then your hero type, and then you've got this little monster, and his daughter is a horse, and they're traveling across the country, and nobody knows what the hell to make of them. And then, of course, you start to add to your party. You've got Jessica, who is this kind of, you know, sexy femme fatale in the game, who is mourning the loss of her brother. I did feel a little bit weird that her powers were kind of veering in the sex appeal kind of way. Like, one of the things that you could actually level up is you could get a lady's thong power, which feels a little out of touch in 2017. But of course, this is a 12-year-old game, so you kind of have to give some concessions to it. And frankly, you have to kind of do that for this entire experience, because obviously we're living in a post-Skyrim age, and Skyrim is going to be a portable game this year on the Nintendo Switch. It was hard for me not to get the Switch noise out of my head as I was playing this on the 3DS, because of course Switch is everywhere right now, and portable gaming is going to change in a big way. But man, this is a massive experience, and it's a worthwhile experience. It's a great story, great production art, great sound effects, great music. The combat is super fun. The environments are a ton of fun to explore. There's lots of surprises there. You'll go into castles and they'll have little secret entrances, and then you'll be inside of caverns, and you'll pop up in the middle of a field somewhere, and then you'll climb a mountain, and you'll talk to some character that's not even sort of on the map. You've just discovered somebody's hut, and then they send you out on some kind of, you know, cool little side quest and things like that. They've also added a camera mode in this game. You'll meet this character, Cameron Obscura, and he'll give you a checklist for all these things that you can take pictures of, and then he'll give you rewards for that, which is kind of fun. Adds another layer of collectability and sort of engagement with the environments. You know, this is a robust experience. It's another January gift from Nintendo. I've had a blast with this game. It is so filled with cool sort of nooks and crannies to explore, fantastic characters, some genuine laughs, and you know, just beautiful design. I'm going to give Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King an 8.5 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.